Welcome to Alaska Family Connection. My name is Hunter Mizar. I get the privilege of being District Superintendent of the great state of Alaska. And today I'm here with Pastor Bob Sugden, who pastors our northernmost Church of the Nazarene anywhere.
In the world.
In the world.
We are the farthest north, everywhere.
That's awesome. So we're in Two Rivers Church right now, just outside of Fairbanks, a beautifully wooded area. And a lot of people probably know it from driving up to see Denali. Like you're kind of one of the, as you're going to Denali, you keep going and that's how you're going to see it. So beautiful area, just phenomenal. Really kind of extreme though. Really hot in the summer.
Really hot in the summer.
Really cold in the winter.
Yeah, we've seen upwards of 150 degrees difference in 1 year.
That's amazing. You've been here a long time, 22 years.
22 years this August 31st of this year.
That's amazing. So, Pastor Bob, tell me, how did you get called into ministry? How did this whole journey start?
Well, I'm 66 years old, and 50 years ago, no, truly, I got saved when I was 15 years old, or 16 years old, 1975. And from the moment I got saved, I always said, I didn't want to just be Joe, average Christian that went to church on Sunday. I wanted to do something important for God.
Yeah.
I didn't have a pastor or a mentor that was guiding me, so I never could discern that that was indeed a calling until about 3 years later when I met my wife's father, who was also my pastor at the time, and he helped me to discern the fact that I had a call in my life.
Wow.
I was in the United States Air Force, and every time I tried to get out of the Air Force, God said, no, you stay. And so I ended up serving 21 years in the United States Air Force, and then finally I got ready to retire.
So in that 21 years, did the call go away?
No.
It was always just kept coming to the
I
surface.
was going through the course of study. Back in the day when you would have to buy the books and go to the district center and do your written test and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I preached. I've preached in the Philippines, in the villages of the Philippines. I've preached in England when I was stationed there. So I've done that all my life. I've known I was called since 1975. But God never opened the door until 1998 when I finally got my district license and I'm ready to become a pastor.
Right.
And God said, no, go to Bible college. I was like, no, pastor. And he said, Bible college. And so then after 5 years of Bible college, my best friend
Which had to have been huge to pack up your family, to go to Colorado Springs, and what a journey of faith.
It was scary, and it was hard. It was literally one of the hardest things we've ever done. But it was. We truly talk about it as it was a crucible that we had to pass through in order to prepare us to be pastors and to serve in a pastoral role. So it was incredible.
So was Alaska in the back of your mind ever? No. Did you ever imagine you'd come to Alaska?
When I was in the Air Force, we would pass through Anchorage on our way to the Philippines or on the way back. I got to see Alaska from the airport. We tried in my military career to get assigned to Alaska. It never happened. But I was on the radar.
So you wanted to come here.
For the novelty of coming. But never, ever dreamed that I was going to be pastoring here. And at the end of my Bible college career, my best friend got an interview for this church. Okay. And so we were teasing him for weeks. Oh, you're going to go live where there's polar bears and igloos. And finally the interview came, and I called him the next day and said, so how did it go? And he went, we could tell it just wasn't a good fit for us, but we thought it might be a good fit for you and Renee. And I was like, no. And literally from that phone call until the day we moved here was less than 12 weeks.
Because, the struggle was you had a daughter going into her senior year of high school. So, the plan was let her finish out, and then we'll look at options.
Well, I had been working full-time, going to school full-time. There were days I didn't see my kids, except when they were asleep in bed. And so we were going to just take a year. We were going to let her finish school. We were going to get our house ready for sale, just live normal life for a year, and then start looking for a church. And that wasn't the plan.
Wow. So. God's timing is always different than ours, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So you interview with Two Rivers. Tell me how that went.
It took forever for the district superintendent to get everybody in the same room at the same time.
Okay. Because this is long before Zoom and all that stuff.
It was a telephone interview.
Okay.
And so I worked at Focus on the Family when I was in Bible college. And so I was working at Focus on the Family when I was being interviewed for this church. And so during one lunch hour on the day of the interview, I went to the prayer chapel there at Focus on the Family, and I just spent that hour fasting and praying. And I literally said, Lord, I want to walk out of here knowing one way or the other. I don't want to go through the phone interview and go, I'm not sure. I want to know one way or the other. And I left there knowing that I was called. But my wife didn't know that we were called. And so,
which is an important element.
Very much so. So then that night we went through the phone interview, and after it was done, we hung up, and Renee said, so what do you think? And I said, honey, I know that I'm called. And she said, but I don't. And I said, then we'll wait.
Yeah.
Because we're a team, and I very much feel that you're going to be pastoring just as much as I am.
Sure.
So until you're able to say yes.
And even growing up as a pastor's kid, she knew the dynamics of how important this decision is. Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we waited, and then they wanted to fly us up here to do a face-to-face and to see the area. And we actually said, let's not waste their money. Let's just go ahead and move up. But the district superintendent said, no, you have to physically see everything before you commit to come up here. And so they flew us up. Yeah. We were here for a weekend, just my wife and I.
Okay.
And then we video recorded the area, the community, the church, all the people. And then Sunday morning, my wife testified that she knew that we were called. But then that evening, as we were talking with the church board, and I said, I feel called and my wife feels called, but I still have 2 daughters at home.
Yeah.
And they are part of this equation, so I don't feel comfortable making a decision without having a conversation with them.
Sure.
So we left Alaska and went back to Colorado. And 2 nights later, we were with our daughters in our family room watching this video that we had recorded. And I looked over at one of our daughters, and there was a tear streaming down her face. And I said, are you okay? And she said, we're moving to the sticks. And I said, honey, we're not moving anywhere yet. We haven't made a decision. And her words were, we don't have any choice, Dad. If this is what God wants, we have to do what God wants.
Yeah.
And that was a defining moment.
Sure.
So,
wow.
So we moved up here.
That is a lot of faith. To be able to come and pack up your family and come such a long distance. In your mind, I mean, how long did you think you would come for?
I originally committed to 5 years.
5 years.
Now, in the Church of the Nazarene, the initial call is only for 2 years, and then you have to be reviewed.
Right.
But I had in my head, I'm here for 5 years. I'm not going to leave early. And so when the 2-year...
Because even back in those days, I think the average tenure was, what,
2.5 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And so I was... And we had been told in Bible college, the statistic is you're going to leave 3.5 years, but if you don't stay 5 years, you're never going to be part of the community. And so you'll miss out on the opportunity to actually be part of the community and have real ministry if you don't stay long enough.
Yeah.
And so that was in my head the whole time. And I was thinking, 5 years, I can. I lived in the military. We were stationed places for 4 years or 5 years. I could do that here.
Sure.
And then it's not permanent. We could move away when we're done.
Yeah.
Except we didn't. But anyway.
I don't know about you, but I was nervous my first senior pastorate of, am I really going to be able to do this?
Yeah.
I've dreamt about it. I've thought about it. But until you're actually in that position, you really don't know, is the church going to accept me? Can I really lead it? Is this thing going to fall apart? I mean, I don't know about you, but I was really nervous that first time around.
I actually got in trouble at my first district board of ministry meeting because I chewed on them. Okay. And I was angry, and I was chewing on them, and they finally called the district superintendent in to handle this. Because I said, you people assigned me to the farthest north church of the Nazarene with 35 eternal souls, and it has been 6 months, and not a single one of you have called or visited me to make sure that I'm not leading these people on a path to hell. Now, this is my first time doing this, and I don't know what I'm doing. Sure, I went to Bible college, but that's academics. This is real.
Yeah.
And nobody's helping me.
Yeah.
I was so mad, and they were like, oh, get the DS. But it was reality.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's one of the things. That's one of the things that has happened. I'm not saying because I did it, but that's one of the things that's happened on the Alaska district now is that we have mentors for candidates who are coming up through the licensure ordination process.
It's important. It's crucial. Yeah. So, did you have any idea you'd be over 22 years?
No,
I mean, that's amazing.
No. I was, as I was telling you yesterday when we were talking, I read the book. I can't remember the name of the book, but it was about the pastor of the First Church of the Nazarene in Anchorage.
Yeah.
Who was one of the Nazarene. Karodi.
Yeah.
And as that book was ending, he said, as he's driving away from Alaska, heading down to the lower 48, 14 years is a good number. And as I read those words, I began to weep, literally.
Yeah.
And it was like, God, that's my heart. I want to be in Two Rivers for my whole life. If I could be here my whole career, that would be amazing. But 14 years is a good number.
Yeah.
And that was back when I'd only been here like 2 or 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And now I'm at 22. So, yeah.
Perhaps a younger pastor might be watching this. I mean, what would you say is the secret to being able to stay and have longevity? Because there had been times that you thought,
Yeah.
it'd be easier to leave as my voice gotten to where they're toning it out.
Yeah.
I mean, 22 years, that's a real sense of determination. What would you say are some secrets of what makes you be able to stay that long?
Gonna cry, sorry. My father-in-law was my mentor.
Yeah.
He was a pastor for 32 years, and he said to me years and years and years ago when I was still trying to discern my call, he said, Bob, if you can do anything with your life other than pastor, do it.
Yeah.
But if you can't, if you have no choice but to be a pastor,
Yeah.
then you know you're called.
Yeah.
And if you are called and you don't stay in the calling, you will find no satisfaction in your life. You will have no peace. And so for me, that is the staying thing.
Yeah.
No matter how hard it has gotten, no matter how much of a struggle it has been, no matter how many bad things have happened through the years,
Yeah.
I am called to be the pastor of this church.
Yeah.
And until I am released from that call, I have no choice but to stay here unless I want my life to go in the toilet.
Yeah.
Because I believe that the blessing of God is on my house because we are willing to live and do what we are told to do by God.
Yeah.
So that sounds high and platitude, but the reality is that's where the rubber hits the road for me. I mean, honestly, calling is number one. Number two, we have been blessed because we have a very gracious congregation. Pastor Bob has messed up a lot in the years that I've been here, and they've not thrown me out.
Yeah.
So that's been good. There has been hard things.
Sure.
There have been times that I've had to take the leadership role and be the firm leader, but there's also times where I've had to back off and stop trying to dictate to this congregation. This is their church. This is their home.
Right.
And a lot of people see the pastor as the passing through employee who is only going to be here for a couple more years and just wait a little bit and he'll be gone and we can get somebody else.
Yeah.
So all of that dynamic was going on through these last 22 years. The other thing for us, my wife is the pastor. I preach and I do administration. She's the one that writes the notes. She's the one that makes the phone calls. She's the one that remembers that last time you were here, which was about 6 months ago, you were telling us that your next door neighbor's grandmother had a surgery on her bunion. How did that go?
Wow.
Well, I've been praying for her. And I'm like, we know that person? You know, that's the difference between my wife and I. And so she has also been, for me, an incredible partner in ministry because she's the one that pastors the people. She's the one that shepherds them.
Yeah.
I'm just, like I said, the administrator and the preacher. So I'm good, but I'm not that good.
It's important to have a team.
Yes, it is.
And it's very obvious you and Renee are a team. It's beautiful. So you've had a great summer. You had a work and witness team come.
This is our 9th team in 22 years.
They did a lot of great work. I mean,
Yes,
tell
they
me
did.
about some of the great things that happened this summer.
The crazy part with Work and Witness, I don't know if you've ever been a part of a Work and Witness team.
I've been on several teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Normally, as a receiving church,
Yeah.
you normally get about a year to a year and a half, maybe 2 years advance notice that the team wants to come up. So that gives you lots of time to talk and have conversation, put the plan together. I got called in February for a team that wanted to come in July.
Wow.
And it was like, what? Okay. And I told the woman when I did the pastor on their staff.
Can I just say, I am amazed how many work and witness streams come to Alaska.
Yes.
I've just been blown away that people almost look at this as like a foreign country, but it's not.
Yeah.
But it's so beautiful. They don't want to live here, but they want to come in.
We've had people
visit
literally
and-
say, what color is the money in your country? I was like, green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, work and witness teams, I'm just amazed how many teams I've seen all summer long that come from the States. But yeah, so they reach out to you.
They reached out to me in February. I told them, I said, I have lots of work, but it's way too much for one team. And I said, so I don't think you're going to want to come. I don't think you can be able to afford to come. And she said, well, talk to me about it. So the end result was we had them, we had started a process of remodeling our 3 bathrooms. But the person who was doing it for us, who was a member of our church, his world crashed and he was not able to finish it. And so the church board said, look, let's just release him from this agreement. Yeah. And we'll say thank you for the work that you did, and then we'll just press on. And so when this work team called and said they wanted to do it, I said, well, we got bathrooms that need to be completed. We've already got the materials. We just don't have the labor to do it. I said, in addition to that, we need to have our house done. There's a ton of work, and to get, not go into this long dissertation, but the 2 major things were, we had an abandoned fuel tank that was buried under our front porch, and in the state of Alaska, you have to either remove the tank, have it serviced and disposed of properly, or you have to open the tank up, clean it, and then fill it with gravel and sand, and then bury it. If you don't do one of those 2 things, you can be fined. Well, our tank had been buried and abandoned for more than a decade. Wow. And it was one of those, you don't have the money to do it, you don't have the time to do it, what are you going to do? And so I said, this is something we need done. In addition to that, we need our front entryway redone because our building, the parsonage, the concrete slab has broken into about 30 places. And so our building does this through the winter, through the whole season. And so we're, by remodeling...
Well, with a 150-degree swing,
yes.
I mean, I don't see how this land wouldn't shift so much.
It's crazy. We have permafrost all over the place. As a matter of fact, when they were digging that tank, they had a mini excavator and they couldn't break through the ground because of the frozen ground. They had somebody down in the hole
in July,
with a pickaxe, hitting it as hard as he could, breaking off chunks this big and going, "Pastor, this is frozen." I said, "That's called permafrost." And they were like,
"Welcome to Alaska."
Oh my word! And I'm thinking, you're not supposed to move permafrost. Don't. Oh go. So for about a week and a half, they had put the gravel in the tank. Then they had put the gravel on top of the tank. Then they covered it. Then they took what was the permafrost and put that on top. And so for about a week, it was all Jell-O.
Oh my goodness!
And then finally, it thawed out enough, and it's now become stable. But I was thinking, oh no, what did we do? What did we do? So.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they did a huge amount of work, a huge amount of work in 5.5 days.
That's awesome.
So, and they only had 17 people on their team, so it was amazing.
So if people have never been to Two Rivers, what makes this community, not just the church, but the community distinct? Are there some things that make this area, as people are trying to visualize it and understand the community, what makes Two Rivers Two Rivers?
Okay. Back in the 1950s, the state of Alaska was offering homestead properties. So 165 acres, and you only had to have 5 acres developed within a certain amount of time. And so people came and grabbed up these parcels. The next generation then started inheriting those parcels and then subdividing them. And so now we have a community. It's like a bedroom community outside of Fairbanks.
Sure.
Because
how long does it take to get to Fairbanks?
About 25 to 30 minutes from here. Now, from the farthest part of our community, it takes about half an hour to 40 minutes to get into town. Yeah. We have about 1,400 to 1,500 people that live here, according to the last census. And our community doesn't have any real industry other than B&Bs and tourist stuff. We have dog mushing, which is huge in this community. If you don't like dogs, don't move to Two Rivers because we have as many dogs or more than we have people. Wow. You can hear dog teams all over the place as the day goes on, because especially when it's time for feeding in the morning and in the evening. You hear the dogs constantly. I don't hear them anymore because I've been here long enough. I don't hear it. But we have visitors all the time going, where are all the dogs? It's like all around us. Yeah. You know, and so dog mushing is one of the huge things in this community. Yeah. And we've had some actually Iditarod winners who lived out here. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but there was, and I don't have cable television, so I don't know, but there was a television show on like the History Channel or Discovery Channel called Mountain Men of Alaska or something like that. Okay. And one of the guys lives just 10 miles down the road. He's not a mountain man, but he's a mountain man.
Right. So what are the two rivers that it's named after?
Well, This area became populated because there was a hot springs 50 some miles down the road.
Yeah.
And so this path that became a track, that became a dirt road out to the hot springs, back in the 50s when the homesteading was going on, there was at mile 12, the Little Chena River that crossed the road. And then at mile 26 is the Chena River that crosses the road. And so the land between the Little Chena River and the Chena River became known as Two Rivers.
Gotcha.
And so that's who we are, the Two Rivers community.
Yeah.
And then when we moved here, that was 2003. Around 2010, there was this big push between members of the community saying, well, our part is known as the Pleasant Valley. And no, this is Two Rivers. No, that's Pleasant Valley. And there was this big issue going on. Well, after the 2010 census, when you look on Google Maps, now it's Two Rivers and Pleasant Valley. So there's two different communities, but legally there's nothing because there is no incorporated Two Rivers. There's no incorporated Pleasant Valley. We're all Fairbanks.
Sure.
And what's really crazy is back when there were landlines, we had a North Pole exchange. Okay. So our mailing addresses were Fairbanks.
Right.
Our telephone exchange was North Pole,
okay.
but everyone called us Two Rivers. Okay. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So as people think through Two Rivers and they just want to pray for the church, what are maybe a few areas that you could say, well, if you think about Two Rivers and Pastor Bob, how could they pray?
Well, number one, as you and I talked yesterday, this culture right now is not a joining culture. And so the polity of the Church of the Nazarene is if you want to do business, you have to have members. And if you want members, and in order to do any major stuff like selling land or hiring a new pastor or whatever, there's this membership vote that takes place. Our congregation doesn't have very many members. And so that's something that is a big burden for me, that we have people that were willing to join and become part of.
Which is a trend I think we're seeing across the board of people saying, I really like that church, but I don't want to commit to being a member.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's number one. And number two, we have, in 2021, our community was terrorized by a 17-year-old guy who literally burned down 12 of our structures over the course of 117 days. He was arrested and went through the court system. He's now serving upwards of 36 years in jail for his crimes. Thank God nobody died. There was a potential for upwards of 8 or 9 people that could have died had his fires successfully done what he was trying to do. But he literally terrorized our community. He sent terroristic, threatening letters, and I was the one receiving them. And there were 3 letters that were sent through the mail that I received. There was a 4th letter that was on his computer but was never mailed, apparently. Wow. But they found it when they did the police investigation. So all of that being said, we literally lived for almost 4 months under the threat of death and violence and destruction. And now it's been 4 years, and I'm still seeing that I have people in this community that are struggling with trauma-related stuff. And so one of the things that God has called us to do, and we are in the process of starting it, of a trauma recovery ministry. Just recently, I was certified as a mental health first aider, and I have scheduled a class in October for up to 30 people of our community to become certified as mental health first aiders. 20 people from my congregation have already signed up. That'll leave 10 more seats from community members to sign up. So that's the first thing. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be partnering with an organization called Lutheran Indian Ministries. And it's not group therapy, but it's like group therapy. It's not a therapy, but it's based on a native culture of talking your story, telling your story. And I've already participated in it once, and it is amazing what God does in bringing healing and hope and health to people. And so I'm going to a training in September to become a facilitator for this talk group thing. I don't remember how to call it. They call it Tree of Life, but I don't know what to call it yet. Yeah. So again, once I'm certified and trained, then we're going to start doing this on a relatively regular basis. But I want to start slow. I want to do it well. Yeah. So pray for all of that, because God is opening up incredible doors. That's awesome. We have an incredible need. Almost every single human being that lives out in the Two Rivers area was negatively impacted in some form or fashion in 2021. Everyone is living with some level of trauma. I had to seek therapy myself. I couldn't be around open flame for the better part of a year. I used to light candles on my desk when I was having my quiet time. I couldn't even light a candle. Wow. And I literally went into a panic attack when I was at Camp Maranatha that summer. They were having a bonfire, and I went, because and so I went to a therapist, and I said, help me.
Yeah.
That was another miracle in itself. God, in one session, healed all of that for me. He used a therapist to do it, but in one session, God broke all of that, and I believe it was a demonic thing. I truly believe that.
Sure.
But I want that. I want that help, that hope, that healing, and everything that we're doing is scripture based. It is Christian foundational. So I want it to be something that points people to Christ, not just help.
Yeah.
I want them to be pointed to Christ. And I believe that this is the time. I believe that this is the time.
Yeah, so. That's great. Well, thanks for all of your years of faithful service. I mean, it's amazing to me that you've given your life to this community. You have served well, and I'm just thankful for your ministry out here in Two Rivers. I mean, it has really been a privilege to be out here. So
thank you.
We're just going to keep praying for your ministry, keep praying for the good people at Two Rivers, and God's doing great things.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Well, thank you for watching. We're going to see you real soon.